Olá, pessoal! Sejam todos muito bem-vindos a Inglês Fluente 7107. Aqui é a professora Vilma e nós estamos aqui pela nossa primeira aula. Hoje eu estou muito feliz de estar aqui com vocês. Eu sei que alguns de vocês já me conhecem, porque nós estamos nesta caminhada rumo à sua fluência juntos. E eu tenho certeza que a maioria de vocês já estão chegando muito próximo da sua fluência no inglês. Exatamente, porque ser fluente em inglês é ser capaz de se comunicar em inglês. Isso, né? Nós não temos que ter um inglês perfeito. E eu sei que vocês que já chegaram até aqui, já perderam o medo de falar inglês, já perderam o medo de cometer erros em inglês, porque vocês sabem que os erros fazem parte do aprendizado e todos nós, até os nativos, cometemos erros, não é isso? E o que mais? Eu sei também que a maioria de vocês já falam inglês com confiança, né? Estamos muito perto de alcançarmos essa fluência, né, no inglês, que é uma coisa que é tão desejada. E isso, cada vez mais, cada dia mais, com essa prática que nós vamos começar agora, cada dia mais vocês vão evoluir e ficarem preparados, certo? Para as oportunidades que estão aí para os fluentes em inglês, né? Estamos aqui porque sabemos que a fluência no inglês pode dar um upgrade na sua vida. Vamos lá, então? Há um recadinho muito importante, né? Nós, né? Todos nós, eu e você, que já somos fluentes, que já nos comunicamos bem, então, as nossas aulas serão ministradas em inglês, ok? Eu acho que não tem problema nenhum, porque qualquer problema que vocês tenham, manda um comentário para mim, registra aqui embaixo, certo? E aí a gente vai conversando, vai se comunicando, e vamos lá. Let's go! Vou dividir aqui minha tela com vocês, então. Hope you all can see the board here, right? Yeah? I'm going to start making a review on questions. Yes, because it's very important to make questions in English correctly. Because who makes the questions controls the conversation. And of course, you all want to have a very active participation in meetings, video conference, congresses, right? You want to expose your ideas, and that's why making questions is so important. Okay, so I put it here. Question words. What are question words? Things like how old, how long, what, who, when. Okay? Question words, the interrogative pronouns. And then I put here auxiliaries. Yeah, because to make questions, we need question words, and then we need auxiliaries, right? So I put them. Does, do, should, may, might, must. Okay? And I put a question here. What is the difference between what and which? Do you know? Yeah? So, they're very similar, but we use what when it's an open question. Yeah? Unlimited number of choices. Could be anything. Now, we will use which when there is a limited number of options. We actually, giving a choice. So let's suppose you went to a store and you buy some trousers, right? And then the sales assistant show you 2 pairs of trousers, a black and a brown one. And then he will ask you, which one do you prefer, right? So you have a choice to make, okay? Very good. And I also put here a combination of how plus adjective, which is very common in English. How plus adjective, how plus adverb. So I put here 3 examples. How big is your apartment? How big is your apartment? How heavy is your suitcase? Yeah? How heavy is your suitcase? And the other one, how high is the building? How high is the building? And you see how long, how old, very common, right? So this combination is very common in English. Now let's move on here. I want to talk now about questions formation. So how do we form questions? Look, I put here 6 type of questions, okay? 2 examples in each. And I'm going to go over each one, okay? This is just a review, preparing us, yeah, for us to start our book. So number 1, can you drive? Can you drive? Number 2, why are you crying? Why are you crying? So I have here a modal verb, yeah? So those concepts, they are important that we know, yeah? Because that will help us understand when the native speakers speak, and also when we read, texts in English. Because sometimes we don't know the word, but if we really understand their function, right? If they're a verb, an adjective, that will help us understand the text better, right? So, I want to mark here. Here I have a modal verb, right? So let me just diminish here. Here I have a modal verb, right? A modal verb and another verb. This verb we call main verb, verb principal, okay? Main verb. And in here, I have a question word, right? Starts with a question word. Why? That gives us the reason for something. And then I have 2 verbs. Yeah? I have the verb to be, that in this case is being used as an auxiliary verb, right? So the verb to be here is being used as an auxiliary verb, right? And I have the main verb in here, which is the verb cry. Okay? Good. Are you with me? Yeah? It's just a brief review, okay? Preparing you to do the exercise. Number 2, what I have here, I have here a question word, yes, that tells me about the location or the place of something. Yeah, I have the auxiliary do, and the main verb is live. Okay, and I have the auxiliary do here, the auxiliary for the simple present. Okay, just follow here with me. Then I have, so where do you live? Where do you live? And then I have another one is, did you go out last night? Did you go out last night? So I have the auxiliary did, the auxiliary of simple past, right? I have the main verb go. I have just one verb, okay? So I have one question with do and one question with did. I will come back to them in a minute. Okay, let's move on to number 3 now. Question word, give me the reason. But this time, and I have, okay, the main verb like. However, this time I have the auxiliary verb in the negative. Very interesting, okay? Leave it there. So why didn't you like the play? Why didn't you like the play? Okay. And the second example, yes, I have the auxiliary verb, the verb to be. Oh, look at the sentence again. Is the verb to be an auxiliary verb in this sentence? Isn't this a beautiful place? Can you see any other verbs? No, right? So in this case, the verb to be is the main verb in the sentence. And it is in the negative, right? Okay. Just one verb, so it is the main verb. Now, did you pay attention to the type of questions I put it in each example? Look, number 1, I have a question starting with an auxiliary verb, can. Number 2, I also have a question starting with an auxiliary verb, did. Number 3, again, yeah, I have a question starting with an auxiliary verb. Let's go back to the beginning. Number 1, one of the questions start with a question word. Number 2, one of the questions start with a question word. In number 1, I have why. In number 2, I have where. In number 3, I have why again. But why am I drawing your attention to that? Look, I want to make a distinction between yes or no questions and information questions. Why? Because the intonation in those two types of questions is very different. You may know it, but I just want to draw your attention, right? If the question starts with an auxiliary verb, can you drive? Did you go out last night? Isn't it a beautiful place? So, questions starting with an auxiliary verb are yes or no questions. And yes or no questions have a rising intonation. Okay? So, let me put it here. Let's see. What do I say about a rising intonation? Look at this. Can you drive? Actually, I want to make you blue. Let's go back. Look at this distinction. Okay. Can you drive? Okay. Did you go out last night? Okay. So yes or no questions have rising intonation at the end. Can you drive? Can you drive? Okay? You can repeat with me, yeah? The other one in number 2. Did you go out last night? Did you go out last night? Okay? Leave it number 3. Still, number 1 and number 2. I have information questions. Information questions or WH questions. Yeah? Why do they say this? Because it starts with a WH. It starts with the WH. It starts with the WH. Okay? So WH questions or information questions have falling intonation. Okay? Because at this level, we're going to work a little bit more on improving your pronunciation, improving your intonation, so that you can understand natives better and you can also be better understood. Okay? Right, so information questions. They have a falling intonation. So let me get blue here. Why? Why are you crying? Okay? Why are you crying? Where do you live? Yeah. Where are you crying? Where do you live? Keep the place there, yeah? So let's suppose go here, right? So why didn't you like the play? Why didn't you like the play? Okay? So at this level, you should be able to produce the correct intonation, right? Make this distinction between yes or no and information questions. Don't worry if you don't know that yet, right? I'm gonna just showing you these, and then how long the classes we're going to be studying a little bit more of that, okay? And in here, the teacher, why didn't you mark? Isn't this a beautiful place? Well, because this is a little different, okay? What I want to say in number 3, both questions are negative questions. So I have an information. Why didn't you like the play? Information, negative question. And why is it information? Because you can't simply say yes or no. Look, can you drive? Yes, I can. Did you go out last night? No, I didn't. Isn't this a beautiful place? It is. Yes, it is. Remembering yes or no questions should never be answered simply with yes or no. So flat like this. You may sound rude. You may sound unfriendly. You know, maybe you're not wanting to have a conversation. So English students sometimes they sound unfriendly because of their flat intonation. Right? So we need to make this distinction. It's not simply saying yes or no. Yes, I am. No, I didn't. Yes, they are. Okay? So remember this. Now here, isn't this a beautiful place? Yeah. When you ask something like that, it's not a real question, is it? You're just confirming something. Yeah. So I put here a big mix of different types of questions just to draw your attention because we are going to make an exercise. Yeah. And then you know the difference. Yeah, that's going to help you a lot. So isn't that a beautiful place? So when you are just confirming something, so your intonation goes down at the end. Isn't that a beautiful place? Now, if you are really asking, then it goes up. Okay? Isn't that a beautiful place? Isn't that a beautiful place? Yeah? If you're really asking, it goes up. But if you're just confirming, it goes down. Okay? And here, look, number 4. What I have here, what do the 2 kinds of questions have in common? First thing, they are both information questions. Why are they called information questions? Because you can't simply say yes or no. You need to give a piece of information. Yeah. Why are you crying? Oh, my cat disappeared. Yeah. Where do you live? I live in Brazil. So you need to give a piece of information, okay? Now, and another thing, it can be information questions because you give a piece of information, or it's also known as WH question, WH question, yeah? Because they all start with WH, yeah? I put in blue here, yeah? They all start with WH, yeah? WH, WH. Even the exceptions have the WH letters in it. Look at the exception here. WH. Okay? So that's why we refer to them as information questions or WH. Okay, so getting back to number 4, what I have here, I have 2 information questions, right? But look at the end of the sentences. What do I have at the end? Very good. What I have? Preposition. I have preposition. So the prepositions in English, when we're making a question, should go at the end. So what are they talking about? Where is she from? What are they talking about? Where is she from? Because in Portuguese, goes at the beginning, right? In English, goes at the end. Exception. Let's suppose that you are in a conversation, right? So in the middle of the conversation, you don't make the full sentence. You just ask something, where to? At the end. Yeah. How long for? No. Oh, she's going on holiday. Oh, really? Where to? Or she's going to stay there for a long time. Really? For how long? Or how long for? So when you are in the middle of a conversation, then you have the option to put it at the beginning or to put it at the end. I usually keep it at the end. Where to? How long for? But you have the option to put it at the beginning. To where? For how long? But when you are making your full question for the first time, always put the prepositions at the end, okay? Very good. Number 5. What do we have in number 5? Look at there. What do we have in number 5? It's a different type of question. What is it? You know, what is missing? There's something missing here in the question, yeah? Can you see the subject of the question? Look, who lives in this house? Where is the subject? How many people came to the party? What is the subject? Because those type of questions are called subject questions. In fact, the subject is here, who or how many people, because that will lead us to the subject. Who lives in that house? My friends. My friends live in that house. How many people came to the party? 25 people. 25 people came to the party. So the answer to who and the answer to how many people is actually the subject. So when you make a question to inquire about the subject, then you won't need to use what? Auxiliary verbs. Because we follow the order, yeah? When we have the subject, when we have the auxiliary. If you have the subject in the question, you must use an auxiliary. right? So here you don't need because it's called a subject question. Because the regular order that we follow in English, they are all for object questions. Because they are the most common type of questions in English. However, let me show you here the difference. If you don't know what I'm talking about, look at here. Who does Bill love? Did they use did they use an auxiliary verb? Who does Bill love? Did they use an auxiliary verb? Yes. If I use an auxiliary verb, it's because there is a subject. Subject is sujeito, right? Okay. So I have here the auxiliary verb. Why? Because I have a subject. Yeah? Because I have a subject. Look at the subject. The subject is Bill. Who does Bill love? Bill loves Mary. Bill loves Mary. Bill is the subject. It's there. And Mary is the object, right? So who does Bill love? Mary. Bill loves Mary. Mary is the object. Yeah? Now, have a look at here. Who loves Mary? Who loves Mary? So, no auxiliary and no subject. No auxiliary, no subject. No subject, no auxiliary. Right? Who loves Mary? Bill. Bill does. Bill loves Mary. That's why here there's no subject. Because the subject is the answer, is the answer to the question, is answer to who. So usually in English they say that the subject is who. Who loves Mary? Bill. Bill is who. Right? So this is what I mean by subject questions are questions without subject. And if there's no subject in the question, there won't be an auxiliary. Okay? We will see more of that. I'm just presenting all this, making you crazy here. I want to show you a sixth type of question. Number 6. Could you tell me where this bus goes? The other one is, do you know if it is coming? Well, they're both yes or no questions. Right? Yeah, because look, I'm starting with an auxiliary verb, could. Because all modal verbs are auxiliary verbs. Okay? And do, the auxiliary for simple present. So by looking at it, I know they are yes or no question. Could you tell me where this bus goes? Yes, I could. No, I couldn't. Do you know if it is coming? Yes, I do. No, I don't. Okay? But that is not the most important here. What is important here is the type of questions that they are. They are indirect questions. They are indirect questions. Could you tell me, do you know? Do you happen to know? Do you mind? They are just polite ways of asking something. So when you want to be more polite, when you wanted to have a positive answer, you should be more polite when we want to have a positive answer, right? Okay? But teacher, what's the point of this? It's because this is a very common mistake with students, particularly at this level. They still confuse this. Look at here. Look at here. Do you know what time the bank opens? It's not. Do you know what time does the bank open? No. No, 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 no. No, 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 no. This is wrong. This is wrong. Because the question is, do you know? So in English, remember that in English we cannot make two negatives in the same sentence. You cannot deny twice in English, right? You need to use any, right? Yeah. In here, the question is the same. You cannot make two questions within one sentence. So the question is, do you know? And then what time the bank opens should be as if it was an affirmative question. It has to follow the same order. Do you know what time the bank opens? It's not, do you know what time does the bank open? No, that's wrong. In here, the question is, could you tell me where does this bus go? But no, could you tell me where this bus goes? It's not, could you tell me where does this bus go? No. Do you know? Do you know if he's coming? Do you know? Is he coming? There will be two questions. Do you know if? Because when we use a yes or no here, in that case, we are going to use if. Yeah? Why? Because here, what I mean is, here it is a information question. Where does this bus go? Right? It's information. But here is a real yes or no. Is he coming? Is he coming? Do you know if he's coming? Okay? I hope I haven't confused you much. But I want to show you this because we're going to work with that. Don't worry. Don't worry. Relax. Be here. Come on, let's make this exercise here. This exercise here. So, review, question formation. As I said, at this level, it's crucial that you make questions correctly. Okay? So, complete the following questions with one or two question words. Question words. Who, when, how many, or an auxiliary verb. Okay? Are, do, did, have. Look at number one. Look at number one. Okay? Earn. How much do you earn? Huh? So how much do you earn? How much do you have as a salary? Or how much money do you make? Okay, how much do you earn? In here, so it is an information question. How much do you earn? Number two, are you married? Are you married? Are you married? And number three, what is it? Have you been studying English? What is it? What I want to know? I want to know the duration of something. When we want to know the duration of something, we're going to say what? How? We're going to say what? How long? How long have you been studying English? Okay, I want to know the duration of something. Here, do you prefer small towns or big cities? Remember the two choices. It's not open. What do you prefer? Give you two options. So the most correct, it is which. Right? Which do you prefer? Small towns or big cities? 5. Look, number 5. The person wants to know the frequency. How do we ask about the frequency? Very good. Very good. How often? How often? How often do you go to the theater in a year? Okay. Tall are you? Remember the combination? How plus adjective. How plus adverb. No. How tall? Yeah. How tall are you? How tall are you? Yeah. How tall are you? How plus adjective. How good are you at volleyball? How plus adverb. How well do you drive? Okay. And now, number 7. Number 7, what, right? What religion are you? What religion are you? Number, so look, so far, only yes or no questions, right? But now, what is it? It's not yes or no, yeah? I'm sorry. So far, only information questions. How long, which, how often, how, what. Now, I have the first yes or no. Yeah, because the first was, are you married? But now, yeah, what is it? Do you wanna have children? Huh? Number 9. What music do you listen to? What is it? What? Do I have off? So what time? Could be what kind? Could be what sort? What kind of music do you listen to? What type of music do you listen to? What sort of music do you listen to? They are all correct. They all mean the same. They all mean the same. Okay, I'm going to put it like this. Number 9. 10. What's number 10? There are 2 options. Okay? 1, what, right? What device do you listen to most? But pay attention, could be whose. Whose device do you listen to most? Could be your father's. My father's device I listen to most. Yeah. What? The Bible's device. The Bible's pieces of advice. Yeah. And the things they listen to most. So it could be what? It could be whose. And now, ever is your hint. Okay? Ever. Have you ever said I love you and not mean it? And not meant it? Yeah. Have you ever? So, have you ever means from the day you're born until today, yeah? Throughout your life, yeah? Have you had this experience? Mm-hmm. Did you vote for in the last election? Look. So here, I had ever. Here, I have last. So there are hints, okay? Last, it will be. Last, of course, this is here. but. Last election, did is here already. Did you vote for in the last election? So when we vote in a person, right? In a person. So who did you vote for in the last election? I just want to make this big review on questions formation because our first unit is about questions formation, right? And I don't want to give you the exercise for you to do it without knowing what to do, okay? So now it's going to be much easier. Okay, guys, this is the end of our class, and I see you all very soon. Be fluent with Vilma Gomes. Bye-bye.